Peace to the gods and peace to the earths and all of the righteous families of the planet. It's your big brother Fahim, aka Day Son to God, back again with a short bill. I just wanted to touch on one of our degrees in our lessons in the 1 to 40, the Knowledge God degree. What is the meaning of civilization? What is the meaning of civilization is the question, and the answer is one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. I'm going to read that again. The question is, what is the meaning of civilization? And the answer is one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. In my breakdowns, I say one who is equipped with the understanding of himself and his universal surroundings is a civilized person. He understands the difference between knowledge and wisdom and strives for divine understanding. Civilization is respect and reverence for the black woman. Civilization is also the maintaining of family and loved ones. When one finds civilization, he has found love, peace, and happiness for all mankind. Mankind, plants, animals, whatever, life in general, when one has found true civilization. All of these things represent a high civilization of intelligence. A low and beast-like civilization represents lies, war, senseless murder, rape, ignorance, and inequality for all human beings and plant life, or just life in general in this universe. A low-life civilization is unrefined and is savage. So in my breakdowns, basically just to go through my breakdown, first of all, just to point out the answer that the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad gave when asked that question by Master Fard Muhammad, what is the meaning of civilization? What is the definition of civilization? What does it mean? The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad answered saying, one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement, and is not a savage in the pursuit of happiness. Look at the messenger's answer. The reason why I'm just drawing emphasis to that particular point is because a lot of people always have it to say, and when I say a lot of people, I'm talking about some of my brothers in the nation of gods and earths. You know, they always have it to say, well, you see, you know, Elijah Muhammad, and he put the wisdom before the knowledge, and, you know, the father had to come and correct that, so he put it the right way that it's supposed to be. And this is the reason why I'm drawing emphasis. I want to put special focus on the messenger's answer in the year 1934, when the messenger answered this question. The messenger was just a baby in wisdom. He was only 3 years old in wisdom. So even as a baby God, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad answered, and he said, civilization, if you call yourself a civilized person and you say what you live in, if your habitation is a righteous civilization, a righteous God-fearing civilization, then that means one has to have knowledge, wisdom. Look at the order he put it in. Knowledge, wisdom, understanding. When we get our supreme mathematics, the first is knowledge. Then you have wisdom. Then you have understanding. Then you have culture or freedom. And then the fifth is power or refinement. 6 is equality. 7 is God. 8 is build or destroy, or build and destroy. 9 is born, and back to 0, we go back to cipher, which brings everything back full circle, because the cipher is a 360-degree circumference, which is broken down into 3 parts. You have 120 degrees of knowledge, 120 degrees of wisdom, and 120 degrees of understanding. So again, I just want to draw emphasis to that particular point, that these are not Brother Clarence 13X teachings, family. This is not Father Allah's teachings. You know, with respect to the founders of the 5 percenters, you know, Brother Clarence 13X, whom we call the Father Allah, Abu Allah, Abu Shaheed, Father Shaheed, you know, Brother Rasul, or Habika, and Old Man Justice, you know, for Cypher Akbar. You know, these were the elders, but they did not precede the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad in terms of understanding and grasping these lessons. This is the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. This is his divine instructions and his definition of the word civilization. So the messenger put it in that order. And I'm not even going to say the correct order or the incorrect order or the order that the elder. He put it in that order, because I've done a bill like maybe a year ago where I said, if the messenger wanted to say knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, if he wanted to say wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, who are you guys to say he was wrong? Who are you? What is it your business? This is his teachings that he gave to us. This is our black God. And I'm not talking about Master Fard Muhammad. Master Fard Muhammad was Allah himself. He was Allah too. But the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was elevated or ascended to the level of Master Fard Muhammad. From his own words, the messenger said, Allah has made me equal to him in knowledge. And he's given me power over the winds and the seas. I've waited over 379 years for this day. His name, Elijah, Eli, God, Jah, God. So here we have God in the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. We're taught that in the last days, the God to come, or the God who would be among the people, or his people, would be rose from the dead. This is Elijah Muhammad. He was raised up from the dead. Am I talking about a physical death? No. We've never known no one to come back from no physical death and tell you how sweet it was on the other side. No. He was rose up from the grave of ignorance. Yes, Elijah Muhammad was one time ignorant. He was Elijah Poole. At one time, he was an ignorant Negro, just like you and me and everybody else was. The messenger used to get twisted and drunk, and yeah, he did all of those things. But he elevated above that level of savagery and ignorance, and he rose up and ascended to the level of Allah God. And so Allah says in the Quran, when you follow and obey me, when you adhere to me, when you follow and obey my messenger, you are following and obeying me. When you adhere to my messenger, you are adhering to me. No different from if a father is in the household and he has to go away on vacation and the wife and the children are there. Well, if you get out of line with the mother, it's like you've got out of line with the father. because the two of them are one and the same. They're on the same accord. She's in control, or she's in command in his absence or during his absence. But when you've offended her, you've offended him. Likewise, if you've offended the messenger of God, then it's like you've offended Allah God himself. So the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad put it in that context before the Father put it in that context. The Father was not the first. The Father came after, and he built and formulated the supreme mathematics from off of what he got from the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Because in the knowledge God degree, you can pretty much see our supreme mathematics right there. I see one having knowledge, wisdom, understanding, culture, refinement. Just look at that. So Father Shahid told us that it was from the supreme wisdom of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad and the problem book of Master Fard Muhammad. This is where the father and the elders, the first elders of the 5% Nation of Islam, this is where they crafted and formulated and put together their degrees to give to the babies, to give to us. So we're thankful to Allah for Brother Clarence 13X and the rest of the elders, the father and the rest of, we're thankful to Allah for them. Because had it not been for those individuals, certain people like myself probably would have never came into the understanding and the knowledge of who the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad was. He was a God amongst us. And he gave us a God science, a high science, a science of how to establish and maintain a righteous civilization. There's a saying that it takes a village to raise a child. If it takes a village to raise a child, well, it takes a community to sustain that village. And a nation to, a village, it takes a village to raise a child, so it takes a nation to raise or sustain that village or that community or that neighborhood. And if it takes a nation to sustain a community, then we pretty much know what comes next. You know, if it takes a village to raise a child, and a nation is what raises or holds down a village to make it what it is, then we know a righteous nation, or it takes a nation to bring forth a righteous civilization, a God-fearing civilization. This is what the messenger left for us. So now we can take his teachings and we can add on. The messenger gave us many different aspects of the teachings. Just like he said, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, the messenger also came and said, wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Both are correct. Both are correct. Either way he said it, both are correct if you understand who the messenger was. When you understand who the messenger was, then wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, when you say wisdom, it's like saying knowledge. Just like when you show reverence and you adhere to the messenger of Allah, it's like you're showing reverence and respect to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself, to Allah most glorified and exalted himself. Both are really one and the same. The messenger was given the intellect because he was taught by Allah most glorified and exalted. So he was given that mind to be able to understand and comprehend what Allah is trying to bring forth and show us. So knowledge, wisdom, and understanding is the basis of community development. Minister Farrakhan gave us study guides, which he said is the basis for community development. Community is a big thing. Very big thing. And from a community, as I said, comes a nation. So the Nation of Islam, or the 5% Nation of Islam, we are a nation within a nation. This is what we are. So when one understands the difference between knowledge and wisdom and strives for divine understanding, civilization is respect and reverence for the black woman. The black woman is the criterion which shows other nations your level of righteousness. So when the black woman is at the pinnacle of her righteousness, if she is a pious, modest, submissive female to her man, to the black God, then we know that this is a righteous nation that we're looking at. We know that this is a righteous nation with righteous standards. Very important to understand that. So I don't want to be too long, family. This was just a little short bill, inshallah, but at the end of the day, as I mentioned, a beast like civilization, which represents war, lies, and senseless killing, rape, debauchery, filth, inequality for all human beings, that is not a righteous civilization. That is not the meaning of what civilization is, according to our lessons. When the question is asked, what is the meaning of civilization? It is asking you from a righteous vantage point. What is the meaning of civilization? Civilization is thought of as something high. We really don't even call the white man's world civilization. I remember as a newborn getting knowledge of self, the gods used to say or mention the white man's world as an uncivilization or uncivilized nation. This is what America is, because it was a nation that was founded on murder, robbery, killing, rape, you name it. Anything wicked is what the white man's world is built up on. So we see him in direct contravention to what Allah God established for the original man. So with that little short bill, family, we will come back with more, but I leave you as I came in the greeting words of peace, and we say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth, and all of the righteous families of the planet. Peace.